What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. We have a small green day today, but filled with lessons of exactly what I thought might happen after I ruined my 27-day winning streak. Didn't ruin it, I just lost it. But the thing that I was most fearful of might be coming into play, but I hope not. But let's get right into it and look at the charts here. So you can see I started off red, rallied it back, and actually ended the day up $500. So we'll definitely take that. But the setups that took us there are just not the most beautiful. That the one lesson I was talking about since ending that streak, it was like a weight off my shoulders. I could trade freely. I don't have to keep this pressure of finding the perfect trades and remaining perfect, never taking losses, right? But it almost seems like it was almost protecting me now because I'm trading smart, disciplined, repeatable, all those good things. That since that payout, those 4 payouts that I took, and I've now released the streak and the pressure of it, I'm almost just doing whatever I want. I'm falling back into doing just degenerate things of trying to chase the market, feel like I could do it, whatever. I earned it. I traded well for 27 straight days, never took a loss. I could do this, why not? I earned it. What are you talking about? So I want to reel it back in, slow it on down, and not move away from what had been working, right? That 27-day streak happened for a reason. Taking the best type of setups, not chasing the market, not feeling like I always need to be in a trade. So things like that. I can't just let it loosely slip away and just trade now whatever because there's no streak. No. So first things first, let's go over the winning trade that got me back into the green. I really do like it. That I'm not taking this first break of a high day view up. I do like it. I do think we could move higher. Just a small subtlety I talked about, and literally I talked about on 2 coaching calls today after even mentioning it. I saw it in 2 other markups that we had. You could even just measure it. A 10-point move from the bottom to the top. It's almost like, oh, that's the move I would try to catch. That to get in now, I'm hoping it keeps going higher. That I'm almost expecting or asking for another 12-point move, just straight up. Now, do we just vertical up for 20 straight points? I don't know. I don't think so. We normally move in waves. So rather than trying to chase this top after a strong momentum, everyone's going to see that's so bullish and want to get in now. Chase it. I'd probably like to see a higher low be built. That's exactly what we get. We actually pull back, respect that open range high again, get back above New York VWAP. Okay, now we're still starting to turn on the bottom, still making higher lows. I know I still want to long it. This allows me to get a better price. Still the same good stop loss, better risk reward to that higher day. So everything was lining up now, and I avoided some of the drawdown because by not taking this, I wasn't saying I don't think this wins because I would still put my stop loss way down here. I just wouldn't have to one go through this drawdown that I think could easily come in, as well as I'm actually getting a better price. So now my 1R isn't way up here. My 1R actually looks a lot better because now I'm out at the high day, strong rally, 1.5R. So I'm getting better risk reward. I don't have to stay in the trade as long, less drawdown, all those good things. So that's why I took the long. But now let's go over the bad trades ish, maybe. But first thing, the first one's not even bad. We watched it go higher here at the open. We said we probably should have been in the longs, not looking for the shorts. But regardless, we get above yesterday's New York VWAP. Great. Longs are in. That's the way we should be probably looking. We went and actually filled the gap somewhere up in here. Long's definitely the bias. I don't take this first small pullback in a break of high day VWAP. That's still pretty overextended in my opinion. Still lots of gray area down here. But we are above this yesterday's New York VWAP, so maybe that's our launch pad. We settle on around it again, maybe form a double bottom down here. And we break above the high day VWAP again. So buyers are stepping in. They're holding this level. I am bullish on the day. Let's go continue higher. But I literally longed it at the very top or close to because it came right back down and broke that shelf that I thought we were holding. So early on the longs there, but then this was it was a break even trade, but if you see these arrows here, I shorted here as we get below New York VWAP because if you just you can look at NQ and it was just sliding through its New York VWAP, moving for new lows close to the low a day because Nvidia was tanking. Most of the Mag 7 were back below the New York VWAP. So it was almost like a slide play, a momentum play of, oh my, this thing's moving. I wasn't chasing the market of like, oh my God, I'm going to get my loss back. Maybe somewhat. But honestly, I was seeing the markets move underneath. Nothing was really above its New York VWAP anymore. The VIX was now up like 1.5%. I was like, oh, this might be coming down. So I got in short, quickly moved the stop to break even because it's very counter trend. And I got stopped out for break even. No harm, no foul. But then another just not necessary play of we get the high day view up still on here. We'll put that back on because I do use that. We reject the high day view up in that long. I was saying I didn't take, but I do think it wants to move higher. And I'm trying to do some cute stuff by shorting it once we get back down to New York VWAP because we're not going to go higher. We're back below yesterday's New York VWAP. Buyers couldn't hold up here on my long. We just had that strong sell off. I don't know if we can sustain it. Another thing is if you look at the 15-minute here on the left side, you can see that circle that I have drawn. We had the big move down to the daily VWAP. So we're actually still holding above that. That looks terrible for shorts. Then we get the candle back down. So now I'm shorting it, predicting or hoping we get a break. And this is just going to be our lower high. And then we go get the lower low. But the stats would say that probably doesn't want to happen because we probably only single break the initial balance. So just a bad short, trying to get on top of the market and beat the market. Of this thing's going to turn around here. Buyers are really just struggling since this pop at 11 a.m. It's now almost 1. We still haven't made a new high. This thing's ready to come back lower. But again, move stop loss to break even rather quickly. Holds open range high. Stopped out break even. And then you see me take that long of like, yeah, you probably should be long. I don't know why you're trying to short it. I get back into the direction of trend and I get rewarded for it. So really only the one loss, and I don't think it's a bad loss. I think I did some good patience on it of letting the double hold down here. Maybe it's a little bit high. Could have waited for it to try to bounce closer to yesterday's New York VWAP. But I could live with that long because it was a very strong open, clear direction. Just stopped out first and then the longs come in later. So it is what it is. Thankfully, not a bad damage day of these. Thankfully, these are break evens, these two shorts, but I just don't need those, right? Thankfully, it moved a little bit lower for me to move stop to break even and not lose money, but just unnecessary. This goes against my 15-minute bias and even just the overall bias. So we had a strong pop at the open. We're just building higher lows above the daily, but below yesterday's New York. That's just where we're being pinched. So a tough day overall in that regard. I don't like when we have VWAPs in the way like this. I would much rather be long like yesterday when we had a yesterday's New York VWAP bounce twice, trading above yesterday's New York, and you get above that current day's New York, go continue trend. No doubt about it. So that was a clean example yesterday. But today you had some intersecting VWAPs, not the cleanest of trend overall in that regard, but I think the longs were definitely still the way. And I mentioned it earlier. These accounts are on Tradeify, so I've taken those 4 payouts on the other company. Now I'm just strictly with Tradeify. So if you do want a Tradeify account, they're actually still running a sale, I think, through the next few weeks. If you use code Dyer, you actually get 30% off any of these accounts, the growth, the advanced, the straight to funded, whichever one you prefer. I'm on the straight to sim funded. But you can still do the advanced or the growth ones if you don't want to, if you still want to go through a challenge phase. But I highly recommend you check them out. At least read some of the rules. But they're 150K accounts. You get 6,000 worth of drawdown. That's a lot. You should be able to stay in the game for quite some time without blowing that account. So I'm going with the 150Ks as well as the 50K straight to sim funded. So check it out. Code Dyer, 30% off all of these accounts. And let me know what you guys think. Now, the other thing I was going to mention is on here on Edgeful, the initial balance report. One of my favorite reports I've been using recently. If you filter it on Tuesdays, you can see 23% of the time we would double break. So very unlikely. We're probably going to single break more days than not. 76% of the time here, it's single breaks. So now that we go back to the charts, let's throw on that initial balance level. That's the red line here. Let's go to 2 minutes just to show more candles. So on these red lines, getting a little crowded with this. Let's throw off the yesterday's New York view just to clean it up. That once we break to the upside, it's really statistically telling me there's only a 20% chance, right? It breaks the bottom as well. So although this could have been fun to chase that short like I did, it's not probable that it continues going much lower because we probably don't want to double break that initial balance. That's another reason I shouldn't have been in short. But I thought, well, today might be one of those days. This is a crazy slide with that maybe news coming in, and then all the stocks are sliding lower. This thing's going to continue going, and it's going to be one of those 20% days. But I am not in the business of predicting which day is going to be the 20% day. I'm going to lean on trying to find the 77% days. And then if I take a loss that day, it is what it is. But I can't be chasing 23% probabilities, so it keeps me looking one-sided. So once this failed to move lower, this was respecting the open range high again. Okay, yeah, we probably don't want to go down there statistically. This is a great level to buy bounces off of. Let's go continue trend. And that's what I did. So thankfully later on in the afternoon, I woke it back up and came to my sense of what I should be doing. But yeah, the lesson in the beginning of the video, like I said, I'm not really too worried about it. But honestly, since that streak has ended and I've let go of that pressure, I'm kind of trading silly, doing stupid trades that I was not doing the past 3 months on this win streak on the path to taking these payouts. So I definitely can't go take a different path and expect to get the same amount of payouts or the same whatever. So I definitely got to reel it in and realize there's no need to rush. I don't need to take this if I don't love it. Definitely don't need to be shorting this. Definitely don't need to be shorting this. What I would have done in October, November, December, whatever, I would have been patient all day until these longs. I would have just waited, taken the longs easy. But today it was not so easy. So what is happening? I don't know. It's not too big of a deal, but yeah, self-awareness is definitely going to come into play of, do I want to take this trade or is it telling me to take this trade? I think I'm just getting excited and wanting to take a short and wanting to try to make money rather than this fits my plan. I've marked this up 1,000 times. I'm in no rush. Let's get in and play the probabilities. So slowing it back down, expectations, also realizing what got me to where I am. Not these type of trades to the downside. So why am I even bothering trying to do it today? Stick to what's been working. Stick to the long-term focus of longevity, survival, and cut out these what could have been big red days, right? Imagine if this popped up right away and this popped up right away. I would have taken 3 losses in a row. What are we doing? That doesn't normally happen. Those 2 other trades to the downside are easily avoidable if they lost. So thankfully came away unscathed, but just unnecessary. And I want to keep in check of why did I even do it? Because I don't want it to happen again. So moving forward, getting back to the plan of the strictness, the discipline, the patience, the pickiness, all those good things, right? Thankfully made some money today up on these Tradeify accounts, continuing the month strong. Hopefully we'll take some Tradeify payouts by the end of the month, right? I think that's probably doable in this window. Yeah, made about 500 today. Hopefully we can get to like 4K, take a $2,000 payout on each. We shall see. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys took advantage of today's trend. Like I said, definitely check out Tradeify. They're running their sale for the next few weeks. So always try code Dyer. You'll get match of whatever sale they are running. So no matter what it is, my code will always get you the most current and best sale there is. So definitely check out Tradeify. And always check out Edgeful if you want these stats in your favor. You can't deny these 77, 80% probabilities on a day-to-day basis. So that link is also below if you want to check them out. All right. So trade safe. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning. Let's keep pushing for these payouts. Let's get back into the rhythm of things, following our plans. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.